Hey, it's Michał Kłakowski. Welcome to Software Sales 101. Today we have very special episode and very special guest. Together with me is Heddy Paktyan, my colleague who handles probably the biggest accounts in Europe, working with German finance and industry. Welcome, Heddy.
Thanks, Michelle. Great to be on your show, and looking forward to contribute.
Fantastic. Today we're going to talk about a very special topic, which is account planning. So how about starting with basically saying why would you do the account plan in the first place? What is the goal?
Yeah, I think that's a great opening question. So essentially, I think an effective account plan is just like a strategy guide, which captures all your relevant account information and then is utilized for establishing sales objectives, sales goals for yourself and for the extended account team, and also develop account strategies which are necessary to achieve those goals and objectives.
Sounds like a big task to do. Assuming you're just assumed a new account and you start working with them, where would you start? What would be the frame that you would be using to start building your account plan?
Yeah, I think where I personally start is determining which personas are required for the account planning, which type of the target group you're focusing on, then discover the needs of these types of personas, both their personal drivers and their business drivers, then create actionable steps for each of these personas and assign them accordingly to your extended account team, because obviously you're orchestrating your account team and you can't do it all by yourself. It's not a one-man show. And then execute according to the account plan with tangible and quantifiable metrics and timelines. So this is how I would approach it.
That's actually a great point about the extended account plan, because working on a large account is a teamwork, it's a team sports. Um, can you tell me a little bit how do you use the account plan to actually orchestrate that work of an extended team? How do you make the team accountable with this document?
Sure. I think the way you orchestrate is not only the internal account team, but you can also use the account plan to orchestrate your external team. So it's both orchestration internally and externally. And it's a crucial part for your account strategy. And you can use it as a main source of truth. Everybody is collaborating on that account plan. You can assign tasks accordingly, and with if you have a joint mission, which is, for example, closing a deal by the end of the year or by the end of a quarter, everyone has tasks and feels like part of the team, part of the journey, and that makes it a teamwork approach, which is another benefit of the account plan.
Sounds like a journey indeed. And on the way, when you have a map, you start realizing what you don't know, right? So you're measuring the gap that is still to be covered.
Exactly.
So what is
Exactly. I think visualizing. Sorry. Yeah. Exactly. I think visualizing in an account plan helps both yourself and your account team to also unlock unknowns and uncover unknowns, because if you just have everything in your own head and you haven't visualized it, documented it, and continue, because it's not a one-time effort. I think it's something you can collaborate on a continuous basis, and this account plan should not look like the same from the day one. It will look completely different 1 or 3 months later down the road.
It sounds like it's also an opportunity for the team to challenge each other. So rather than, as you said, having everything in your head, you write it down, and it's easier to see the blind spots when everybody is looking at the same plane, right?
Exactly. It's I mean, sales used to be maybe in the past when you sold to a single persona, but when you do enterprise selling and you build multiple champions across different business units, different regions, not only two pair of eyes, but multiple pairs of eyes are helpful. They have different thought processes, and as you said, you can challenge each other. And with that, it's becoming a much more collaborative task, and it's necessary to, if you have a 7-figure or 8-figure deal, to ensure that you have a team behind you who are potentially uncovering unknowns and helping you to close a deal of that size.
I remember a very insightful conversation with you about dealing with uncertainty, which obviously is part of this game. So you're dealing with complex organizations. Certain things might not go the way we want them to go. Would account plan be a tool to also help to deal with that uncertainty and insure you against certain situations?
That's a great point, Michal. I totally agree with you. Especially in those large deals, 12 months, 18 months sales cycles, you will always have to deal with uncertainty. And I think uncertainty is a situation when your customer has either an incomplete or missing information, and also a situation where maybe a question, concern, or even a fear which you may not have answered, which you may have missed. But you're a seasoned salesperson yourself, and let's be realistic. I think uncertainty is part of the game. It's a natural companion to any change, even if you do it in private life. If you have to deal with change, it creates uncertainty because it's something new and there's a fear attached to it. And because uncertainty is so much widespread, it's a generic term. It means that before you start thinking of ways to actually motivate the customer or the person you're dealing with to actually buy from you, you have to begin by understanding their main uncertainties and fears, and uncover them and dealing with them accordingly. It's not my advice would be not to be silent about that. It's an elephant in the room, and you have to mention the elephant in the room and ask that person, hey, essentially, people buy from people. Just let me know what is hindering you. What are your concerns? Just be open with me. I'm not going to force you to sell from me, and it won't work anyway. So I want to understand, and even if you don't buy from me, it will help me to understand what I may have missed in the course of our conversation.
That's fantastic advice. Actually, we're all humans and we're buying from humans. So in the end of the day, understanding what is the state of mind of the human being on the other end of the table helps build that connection a lot.
Exactly.
But okay, complex topic. What kind of advice would you give to our subscribers who are building their first account plan?
Yeah, that's a really good one. I think again, coming back to fear, it may sound overwhelming. You think like, oh, now I have to spend all that work and effort and do research, etc. And things like that take time and take efforts, and people love to get immediate results. And an account plan is not designed to get immediate results. The purpose of an account plan, especially for a strategic account plan, especially when you're working in an enterprise field, you have to think more long-term and more strategic. And that means you have to put in the efforts, the time, and think about it this way. The results, the fruit of your efforts, the fruit of your work will ultimately be much, much bigger long term. And it's not a one-time effort. That would be my main advice. Don't get fooled by your own mindset and say, okay, I'd rather want to go for the low-hanging fruits. That may help you to get a small deal here and there, but we all have, especially when we work in enterprise, we have high targets, very high targets. In order to achieve these high targets, you'd rather want to do the hard work, the heavy lift upfront, and then benefit from the fruits of your work long term.
That is very, very true. Enterprise selling is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So we all need to have a plan laid out, not only for what's happening this quarter, but also next quarter, quarter after next year, and so on. And it's a journey. That was very insightful. Thank you very much, Heddy, for being my guest. I think we all enjoyed the story. Happy selling.
Thank you. Great to be on your show, and happy selling to you too.